Millionaire catches Maid protecting his special daughter. He never expected this truth. The moment the millionaire stopped his car outside the mansion gates, something felt terribly wrong. His heart pounded not because of a business loss or a stock market crash, but because he saw his fragile daughter crying on the marble steps, and his quiet maid standing in front of her like a shield, arms trembling, eyes fierce with a courage that didn't belong to someone who owned nothing. In that frozen second, a terrifying thought struck him. What if I have misunderstood everything? What if the person he trusted the least was the one protecting what mattered most? If you believe in kindness, second chances, and hidden heroes, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who believes good still exists, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them. The millionaire had built his life on control. Every minute was scheduled, every risk calculated, every emotion locked away behind tailored suits and glass offices. His mansion reflected that discipline, silent hallways, spotless floors, and a loneliness so polished it echoed. The only crack in that perfect structure was his daughter, a gentle child born with special needs, whose world was louder, brighter, and far more fragile than his own. He loved her deeply, yet feared her vulnerability, so he surrounded her with rules, guards, cameras, and distance, believing protection meant isolation. The maid had entered their lives quietly. She cleaned, cooked, and moved through the mansion like a shadow, speaking little, asking for nothing. To the millionaire, she was replaceable, invisible, just another employee. But to his daughter, she became something else entirely. While tutors failed to connect and therapists rotated endlessly, the maid understood her without instructions. She knew when the child needed silence, when she needed a song hummed softly, when fear tightened her small hands, and when joy burst out unexpectedly. The maid never rushed her, never corrected her gently spoken mistakes, never looked away when others grew uncomfortable. Still, the millionaire noticed changes. His daughter smiled more. She slept better. She began drawing again, colorful images of two figures holding hands under suns that seemed too bright to be accidental. Suspicion crept into his disciplined mind. He reviewed camera footage obsessively, questioning whether boundaries were being crossed. Power teaches people to doubt humility. He decided to observe quietly, waiting for proof that his trust had been misplaced. That afternoon, proof seemed to arrive. A raised voice from the garden, his daughter sobbing, and the maid standing protectively before her, blocking a furious relative who had ignored instructions and demanded the child behave normally. The millionaire watched as the maid refused to move, her body shaking but unyielding, her presence a wall against cruelty. Security arrived seconds later, but by then, something inside him had already shattered. He demanded answers. Why had the maid interfered? Why had she taken such liberties? Why did his daughter cling to her like a lifeline? The maid did not argue or defend herself with anger. Instead, she lowered her eyes, steadying her breath, and revealed a truth the millionaire never expected. She had once been a mother to a special child. 2 years ago, poverty had crushed her world. Medical bills drained everything. Society offered sympathy but no help. When her child passed away, the silence left behind was unbearable. Working as a maid was not just survival, it was penance, healing, and memory. When she saw the millionaire's daughter, she saw the child she had lost, the fears she recognized, the small victories no one celebrated. Protecting her was not rebellion, it was instinct. It was love reborn from grief. The mansion felt smaller after that confession. The millionaire realized how blind he had been, confusing wealth with care and authority with understanding. He had spent millions to protect his daughter from the world, yet it took a woman with nothing to truly see her. Shame settled heavily on his chest as memories replayed, his absence, his impatience, his fear of imperfection. Change did not come overnight, but it came honestly. He began spending time with his daughter, learning her rhythms instead of forcing his own. He listened as the maid taught him how to soothe panic, how to celebrate tiny steps, how to let love be patient instead of powerful. the maid was no longer invisible. She was invited to stay, to guide, to heal, not as an employee, but as family. The true transformation came when the millionaire did something no boardroom had ever prepared him for. He established a foundation in his daughter's name, supporting families with special children who were drowning quietly, just like the maid once had. The mansion gates opened to laughter, therapy sessions, music, and hope. His daughter thrived, not because she was fixed, but because she was finally understood. As the maid watched the child laugh freely in the garden one evening, tears streamed down her face, not of sadness, but of peace. She had not lost her child twice. In saving another, she had saved herself. Before the story ends, please comment below with the word kindness if you believe even the smallest act of love can change a life. Near the end of his journey, the millionaire stood where suspicion once lived and gratitude now ruled. He understood that real wealth wasn't money, control, or perfection. It was compassion, humility, and the courage to learn from those we overlook. His daughter rested peacefully beside the woman who protected her when no one else truly knew how. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe for more stories that remind us what truly matters. Sometimes, the greatest truths come from the quietest souls, and sometimes, love arrives disguised as a maid with a broken past and a fearless heart.